welcome to the Roundtable, episode 24. You guys are in the right place tonight. We've got a lot of topics, a lot of excitement for you. And we also have something new tonight where a viewer, supporter, I would like to say one of our amigos right here, sent in a question or a topic rather via voicemail. So we're going to play that and we're all going to give our feedback and response on that. So shout out to Crust for being the first one to do that. And I'm hoping everybody in the future will take that opportunity and send that in, through Instagram. And I can play your question and we'll all react for you guys. What's good, Randy? Jesse Baca, Mr. Goyo, good to see you. Let me bring in the crew. Hold it. We got Sister Denise. Here we go. And we got our brother House of Tattoos.
Hello, ladies. Hi, Denise. Hi, Jen. How you doing?
Hey, good to see you guys. We got Randy Jean.
Another week has gone by. Here we are.
Another week. Hey, episode 24, guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
24.
Yeah, good to see you, Jesse.
Wow, that's good, Jen.
Homeboy.
You're doing a good job, Jen.
So cheers. Are you guys. Yeah, cheers to us, right? And to all of our viewers and supporters. That's right. Salvador.
Hello, Teresa. Strange Days. Mr. Goyo. Randy Jean.
Shadow. That's right. I'm loving seeing you guys coming in. Hit that thumbs up on the way in. We appreciate it. It's good to see you guys. I was telling Denise and House, you guys, I was like, man, my energy is low today. Wasn't feeling good, but I'm like, it encourages my spirit to come here.
Here we go, Jen. Hey, take a dose of this. Take a dose, Jen. Take a dose.
I need a bunch of that.
Hey, let's change the batteries, Jen.
So that's what's up. Coming here and you guys lift my spirits, and plus we get to
Only Pastor Tony in the casa.
Is that you in that picture, House?
Where?
On your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big.
There's House. Yeah. I was thinking of switching my picture. I haven't done it yet, but I might switch my picture up. Who knows? That's right. I'm gonna call for Tony. If you want to hop in, I'm gonna shoot you the link.
Come on down, Tony. Come on down.
Hello, everyone. That like support. Hey, gracias.
I was watching the
Pastor, don't leave me hanging. Pastor, help.
Yeah.
It's 2 against 1. You got my back.
Want some backup. So let's just start out with Denise. How was your week? What did you do? Anything exciting go down, or anything we need to know about?
Did you say me?
Yeah.
Oh. My week went by kind of fast. Yeah, it's going fast. The weekend went quick.
Saludos, Cholo Trucker and Teresa.
My husband got hurt on Sunday. I think it was Sunday. So he missed work yesterday, and then he went in today, but he was still not feeling well. So prayers out to him.
Yeah.
Denise, did you beat him up after my live? Come on, Denise. I told him.
No, he was lifting a toolbox for my daughter, and he pulled.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, right?
He enjoyed that though. He enjoyed the live, and
yeah, that was cool. Hey, I appreciate your man tapping in, jumping on with us, man. It was cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
He enjoyed that. He really did. He's like, that was cool. I said, yeah, well.
It was. He liked the music too, huh? Yeah.
Oh, he loves it. Yeah, he loves the music.
Yeah.
And that's it. Day went by quick. I been lending my daughter my car to go to work, so my car hasn't been here. Just like, dang, man. But
yeah,
it'll work out.
That's right. So just kind of a pretty chill week, other than your hubby getting his back hurt, right?
Yeah, just chill.
Yeah, speedy recovery. That's right, Sinaloa. Prayers up. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
That's
right. We have plans to go out Sunday. I think he hears back Saturday because we're supposed to go out and we ended up not going anywhere.
Oh yeah.
So it was like, damn.
Oh man.
Thank you, Becca.
Yeah, we gotta. It's part of life, right? Like sometimes there's things that happen we don't expect, and
unexpected.
Gotta just do what we gotta do. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. How about you, House? What did you do this last week?
Well, nothing exciting, but same thing. It's just like my daily thing. Like spend time with my grandkids. Kick it with the guy down the street. Help him do some work. You know what I'm saying? Um, I've been staying in at night lately because there's some activity going around, and I'm not going to be caught as a mistaken right now. Just that lately there's been some stuff, and I just found out that I don't know if I mentioned it, but like the guy, I knew this guy for 20 years, and I know he was from a car club, so I know they did something they killed one of their members. He wasn't even into any gangs or nothing, but he passed by my house. I stopped him and I talked to him, say, "Hey, my condolences to your member and this and that," and I didn't know it was his son. It was his son. Yeah. So I gave him a hug and sent my condolences to him, and he said thank you. And I've known him for a while, but I didn't know it was his son, man. But he's they're doing. They did a fundraiser for him, and they did well. And but my condolences when you lose your son. I mean, I could just imagine, and his son. The good thing he told me about his son is that he knew God, because he knew God, and so that's a blessing.
That's definitely a huge comfort in such a tragic.
But other than that, working on a poster. Then I got somebody else's picture I'm going to draw for, do something for one of the subscribers, and just slinging some ink, and that's it.
There you go. That's right. Love to hear it.
Saludos, Goat, Andrew.
Artie's on here eating.
Artie Marin.
He won for me.
And the Goat Andrew becoming a member last week. I appreciate that. Andrew, what's good? That's right. Yeah. You know what? For me, I'm like, when you guys were talking, I'm like, what did I even do this last week? I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I had to have done something. I'm like, staying busy with the kids, obviously, I cooked it with my mom, did a couple things, over there at her house. Let's see. Hey, Machete, cooking, cleaning, did my regular get down here. And oh my gosh, I think that's why I feel like I got ran over by a semi truck. My body hurts so bad.
Hey, not the C, Jen, not the C, right? Not the C.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just it's something. I don't know what.
I helped someone out yesterday, and you know what? I got all ambitious, like, I got this. Like, kick back. I'll take care of it. Man, I feel like I got my butt kicked up. As my grandpa, he used to say, "Hey, you feel like you got your kicked up between your shoulder blades, huh?" I go, "Yeah, that's what I feel like." But there we go.
This week did go by fast, though. That's all I got to say. This week did go by fast.
Hi, Pastor Tony.
Pastor.
I can't hear anything right now. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me see.
Do you think?
Yeah, turn the volume on. There we go.
Saludos, Joker.
Hey, am I inside of here? Am I interrupting? The special bulletin from Phoenix, Arizona. Woo! The Metallica shows, plural, was tight.
All right.
And I got so much heat for that because I started posting that videos of people circle pitting and the Aquaman, Jason Momoa in the circle pit, and people getting mad at me because people are splashing beer and beating up on each other. I'm like, listen, man, it's just video. It ain't me. If y'all got a video on me hitting Jason Momoa upside the head in the circle pit, then that's one thing, but we can't stop these people from beating each other up. I'm just a spectator. It's like going to a boxing match. Anyway, sorry. Hi.
Hey, at least I thought you would separate the C. I mean, not the C, but separate the crowd.
So what's his name? Jason Momoa. He was there.
He was in the LA show.
Okay.
In the circle pit, the one right before Phoenix. And then I'm talking about Metallica. I apologize. I just jumped in. I didn't hear a whole lot. I'm guessing you guys are all talking about metal the first 10 minutes while I wasn't here. I'm just assuming. I'm just trying to fit in where whatever.
Hey, Pastor, thank you for tapping in. Even when you were at the concert, you tapped in. Thanks.
I did. I tried to
Appreciate
go
it, brother.
live.
I
I tried
seen
to go
that.
live with 60,000 people in front of
That's
me,
right.
and I tell you, man, my phone almost went in the air like 3 times. But yeah, Metallica. These guys have been doing it for 45 years.
Wow.
So I'm over here, like, hanging out. One of my friends from church, way back when I first got out of the joint back in '98. It's so important. I know all y'all know this. It's so important to have people with you and turning points in your life. Support, whether it be like getting married or getting divorced or getting out of the joint or getting off of drugs or becoming, a single
That's
parent.
right.
It's
That's right.
so crucial. The
That's
people
right.
that are with you during those times, because there's all kinds of changes going on, and the right people keep it going in the right direction. And there was this kid named Peter Hart, 22 years old, just like me. I just got out of the joint.
Mhm.
2 different worlds, man. Clean cut church kid, white boy from Modesto, and here I am out of the joint, just getting out, all fired up for the Lord. And he is exactly the kind of friend I needed, because the kids and the people I was hanging out with before, they're still doing their thing.
Oh,
Well, anyway, after 25 years, I haven't really spoken to him in about 20 years. He pops up. He's no longer churching out. He's still a good person, but he's not going to church anymore. He fell off, not impressed by the way church is doing things anymore. And we ended up hooking up again, man, like hanging out. He married a church girl that we both knew. And make a long story short, I was able to try to tell him, man, that God still loves him. And, kind of be an example of like being free in Christ, man, not being churched out in Christ, or not being religious, man, but just knowing who you are, who the Savior died for, and who the Savior is, and it's kind of started from there. So it was a really emotional time for me to be able to minister to an old friend. I try to explain to him, you don't know, man, you saved my life. In some ways, because you're a good brother in the Lord, you saved my life from being my friend and letting me see a different way of living. That I could be broke and not be judged for it. That I could spend all my time churching out and people think that's cool, not weird, you know. So anyway, so it was a really good Metallica experience. I encourage all y'all to go to a Metallica show if y'all can. It was dope. Hey,
There you
I
go.
got your back, brother House. I got your back. That was 202.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's funny. Well, I'm glad. Hey,
Appreciate that, brother.
I don't really
Thanks,
know
already.
like all the members. But are all the original members still in Metallica?
Yeah, you're gonna get some. You're gonna get some changes. The Metallica band has been the same Metallica band for 20 years now. Before
Oh,
then, their bass guitar player got smashed to death on the bus. So they had a bass player. The bus flipped over and landed on him and killed him. And then their second bass player quit. And there's this other guy from a band called Megadeth, who was also another old school metal band that used to be part of Metallica and got kicked out because he was an alcoholic. And he lives here in Phoenix. Real cool guy, church dude, loves Jesus. But so the band Metallica has had the same members for over 20 years now. Really cool, man.
pretty
You know
impressive.
that you're bringing the band Metallica up and then you serving Christ and stuff like that. I seen an interview. I just caught a little bit of it of Alice Cooper. And you know who Alice Cooper is, right?
Yeah,
And he knows God. And he was
yeah.
way out there too. And he knows God because they were talking about God. So hey, man, it's just how he everybody perceives him and how he was on stage, but he knows God, man. That's a
It's a
blessing.
trip because a
Yeah.
lot of stuff he was doing was like the occult,
Yeah.
skulls and snakes. He was big
Yeah.
with snakes and, crosses. But no, man, when I was in college, I got a job working at a church that Alice Cooper went to. Nice church
Yeah.
here in the Phoenix area. And he would come late, about 15 minutes after church starts, and then he'd leave like 10 minutes before church ended. My job was security to make sure that, people's cars weren't getting broken into or anything like that. So I see him walk in, I wave at him, and wave. No, yes, man. I'm telling you, man, Jesus and church buildings ain't got really nothing to do with each other. It's the people in, and it's people's heart. And
Yeah.
you just always like You guys always look at the outside, and God looks at the inside. It's like just like Jesus' primary message. He looks at the heart. You know, the guy on the cross. There's two guys. There was two other guys on the crosses, and they didn't have time to go to church. They didn't have time to learn about all the lofty things of the Lord, giving to the poor and repenting. They had none of that. The Jew looked at Jesus and said, "Man, I deserve what I got. Remember me." And Jesus looked at him and said, "Today you'll be with me in paradise." I
Paradise.
tell you, man, we get caught up in all the other stuff. Denise, Sister Jen, Brother House. God loves you guys. He created you guys
That's right.
just like you
That's
guys
right.
are, man. You guys are
That's right.
special. And you and the walk with in the Lord, it's between you and the Lord. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Like, man, you guys do everything you got to do to walk in the Spirit. But that's not me to judge. I'm there to fan the. If I see you guys getting it for the Lord, I'm there to fan it. That's what I gotta say. Sorry, I had a
All
sprite.
right.
I had a
Hey,
sprite earlier. I'm all hyped up.
hey,
Yeah,
you got me feeling it through the speakers and everything,
I
brother.
feel you, brother. I feel you.
that's right. That's right. That's
Yeah.
You got me
funny.
Please,
feeling
no more questions. No more questions. I want to listen.
it.
Questions. That was a
Nah, hey, you're part of this, and we're listening to you, brother, and it's always a pleasure, man. Always.
Thank you, Andrew. Been doing pretty good. So let me just throw this question out there real quick, and I want everyone to think about what your opinion is, and let me know at the end. So I'm gonna have to get
he's around, Joker.
I'm gonna have to get a new phone. Who thinks I should get the Samsung, whatever the new Samsung Galaxy is, or who thinks I should get an iPhone? Let me know at the end. I want opinions. I'll let you guys think about
At
it.
the end of this show.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I want people to give me their input, like what is best, because I really don't know much about the difference, but I had a
Let
little
me
app.
save you some problems. Go with the flip phone.
Ah, my mom has a flip phone. She can't do anything
Hey,
else.
do you remember when cell phones first came out, though? And there were
Yeah.
big old things like this.
Yeah.
You carried it on your side like this. You know, hey, I'm cool. I'm cool. Big old phone.
Yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
just got out of Vietnam or something.
The pager on the side.
Yeah, yeah.
stopping
The
at
guy
phone.
that Joker's talking about, I'm pretty sure he's still in Modesto, right? And one of our subscribers, Hugo, I know he has pictures with that guy, and I believe he's personal friends
He's
with
still around. I seen him. He was
Yeah.
in some videos,
Yeah.
a lot of videos, and he's been traveling a lot.
Got married recently. Yeah.
His name is what's his name? Mike Servin? No,
Yeah.
no, Mike.
No, that's it.
Is it Mike Servin?
Yep. Hey,
Yeah.
see View. Good to see you. Good to
Mr.
see
Jesus
you.
Christ, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, True. So sweet.
Right.
Denise, what is this
But
No.
go ahead, man. Sorry.
story that had did it happen down there yesterday or day before where there was a shooting on
I
a
believe
long
it happened on Saturday. Yeah,
Okay.
Saturday, and they caught him on Sunday. House, is that by you? Closer by you, Palmdale?
Palmdale's more further out. It's way up there. Like it's about an hour and a half drive or more from me.
Okay.
And yeah,
Did you ever
north.
try?
I would say northeast. I guess no, more northwest from me. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, northwest.
Did you hear about that guy that shot the cop at a stop?
Yeah. They caught him. They actually caught him too. Yeah,
It
was
right.
that-
He pulled up alongside of him. Get him.
6 hours to find him. They caught him quick.
Yeah,
They
he
had a
pulled up
200
right next to him and he blasted him. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a 250 reward, a $250,000 reward for anybody with information.
His family was speaking up about him, and they were saying that he's schizophrenic, and they were trying to get him help before.
Yeah.
You know, saludo Scooter.
Yes.
Yeah, so they were trying to get him help before, and that schizophrenia is real. I mean, when it comes to things, so you got to keep your eye on that, man. Keep track, man.
Yeah, and it's hard too because if you have a family member that's an adult, your hands are tied. A lot of times you can try to reach out for help, and you can have professionals tell you.
You're
"Hey,
right. You're right, Jen, because they're an adult, and yeah, you're right, Jen.
So it's
You're right.
tough. Yeah.
I mean, personally, you guys, if I had somebody like that lived with me, they wouldn't have a firearm
Mhm.
because I would make sure of that.
Mhm.
This guy had several firearms, and he was, like you said, schizophrenic. His sister came out saying that they had problems with him that day. And if you watch the YouTube, that he just came up on the side of the cop car and just shot him. And I'm like, damn, like thinking, I thought there was somebody sitting shotgun and did that.
Yeah.
That's what was going through my mind before they caught him, right? And I was like, damn, but it ended up him being alone. And I said, shit, he had good. He shot him, I guess, in the face. So he had. I'm like, damn, he had some good aim because he'd be on the side. So cop car here, him here. So he'd be on the further side of the, of his passenger.
Yeah. That's terrible.
I was like, wow, that's crazy. He was what, 30?
That's what I was thinking too, Randy Jean. Isn't it?
Not 36.
So he owned those firearms that were in his name?
That's what they said right now, but I guess they're going to come out with further because there was a lot of questions.
Yeah, because
he was 29 years old, and when they caught him 36 hours later, they did another media press conference, and the lieutenant, I guess his name's Luna, they were asking him all kinds of questions like that. Like, did he own, how do you get the guns? Did he own the guns? Was he by himself? This and that. He couldn't say nothing because it's still an active investigation. So he was just like, I can't tell you guys anything right now.
Yeah.
All my hands are tied, and he didn't want to mess up any part of that.
That's where the system fails, because people with schizophrenia shouldn't have any kind of weapon, firearms.
Yeah, and then we could be normal and go in there, and then later on, who knows how long he had them.
Yeah, that could be it too. Maybe
that's true. You know what? You make a point there too, because schizophrenia could come later on in his years or stuff like that, and already have. You're right.
There's medicines that they've proven that can cause mental illness over time, and you don't even realize it. Like this medicine called Montelukast. It's like for asthma. They have some studies that can make you get to mental illness if you take it long enough. They didn't know that until someone said, "Hey, I'm suing you guys. I'm crazy now." And there's enough people saying I wasn't crazy taking this, and now I am. So they got enough. So yeah, man, you could take some medicine now just for stuff that got nothing to do with mental illness and get mental illness triggered off.
Yeah, some side effects are long term and permanently.
Yeah,
that's why
Andrew, look at they both said the reward was $250,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. No.
So nobody turned him. Nobody turned him in, but they found out where he lived and they caught him, right?
Somebody gave him some type of.
Somebody gave.
Oh, okay.
Because they ended up running the. Wait, how did they? I know they found the car first. So somebody gave him a tip on where he lived.
Well, they noticed the car when it pulled up, and the make and model, and it was his car, the black one. Yeah.
Yeah, they did have a description of the car because it was on camera. It was like right across from the police station. The cop just pulled out of the police station and went to the red light, and that's where he shot him. It was like.
So, without any more, obviously, like they are saying they're still investigating it, but it almost sounds like he was sort of laying and waiting, to get a cop or something.
Well, sometimes from what I'm seeing, because I ran into people that had schizophrenia, and they see things that aren't even there.
Yeah.
And all this other stuff. So it could have been brewing in his head, oh, they're coming after me. Bam, and then he acted upon it, and stuff like that happens. That's why that schizophrenia needs to be watched, and treated. Got to be careful. Treated, it can be treated, but there's side effects from it,
For sure. Yeah. Well, prayers, for that Officer?
I could share this. I could share this because nobody knows him and everything. But I used to work with a gentleman, and he was a school. I was a school bus driver at the time, right?
Mhm.
And he was too. He was passing the test. He'd go in the middle of the room, and he'll start pumping his brakes, doing the air brake test, air governor cut in, and all this and that. People were looking at him kind of like, and he was out real loud, and he passed. He did what he did. He was a bus driver, right? He became a bus driver. So this is one thing he did. Okay, this is the story. I'll cut it short, but he was supposed to take the kids home from school, and there's like 84 kids on the bus, and they all get off at one stop, right?
Mhm.
Well, the apartment complex was on fire.
Mhm.
So when that happens, you don't let the kids off. You take them back to the school and let the parents deal with it. You know what I'm saying? He
Mhm.
let them off. And so by him letting them off, they fired him. But this man owns property all over, even in this area where I live. And so I stopped and talked to the man, and he goes, "As long as I'm on medicine, I'm okay. But when I don't take it, I'm not okay." And he's pretty. After was a bus driver, this is what he said to me. He goes, "Man, I remember I went to this one little boy's ear and started telling him all this stuff, and this and that." And I'm like, "Well, thank God they terminated him,
Yeah.
But he's a successful man. He's got money. He's got property everywhere.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he takes his meds. He says as long as he's on his meds, he's okay. But when he's off,
Right. That's
yeah,
mandatory. Yeah.
yeah.
That it was a good question, Andrew. If anyone chooses to answer, who would take that 250K award for turning that guy in? Would anybody?
Well, they don't get that until he is convicted, though, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. That would be interesting because that's a massive amount. But I'm sure it being a police officer
That's a good one. Strange days.
has a big part to do with that.
They used to call me the gangster bus driver.
Oh, how funny.
It was
I
so
bet you
funny,
were a
man.
cool bus driver. I could
I
imagine.
used to, hey, but you know what? I took care of those kids, man, and that's
Yeah.
100%, man. I
Right.
took care of those kids, man.
I can look back and think, man, we drove our bus driver crazy. We were bad.
Yeah.
Bad little kids, huh?
Because he passed away last year. His name was Roy.
Mhm.
It came out on Facebook, and we're all like, damn, man, tripping out. And me and my sisters were talking. I was like, man, we drove him crazy, you guys.
That's crazy.
It's
Huh?
a trick that I think I mentioned this before, that some of the kids that were like in second grade and third grade, I used to take them back and forth to school. I know them to this day, and they came and got tatted. They came and got some artwork and ink from me. And they're all like tripping out. Yeah, I remember this. You never used to let us sit where we wanted to, and blah blah blah. Because if I did, you guys would be fighting, hitting people.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, nobody went to the back of the bus. Only us.
Yeah.
Only we went to the back.
Hey, the back of the bus was the place to be back in the days when I was in high school.
Yeah. We used to go on bumps and hold on to the top of the other chair. We used to like jump.
Oh man.
Let's put it.
Hail into
Can
the
I
bus.
share a story real quick? Is that
Yeah.
okay, Jen?
Go for it. Yeah.
I think I shared it before. It was show and tell day at an elementary school. And one of the kids came on, and he goes, "Look, bus driver, what I got." He had a hand grenade, a real hand grenade in his hand. Okay. I said, "Give me that." I said, "Give me that, young man." And I said, I grabbed it from him, and I went like this, but I turned it upside down. It's all gutted out. It doesn't have nothing inside, right? So I'm like, it's not even real, and it's not, there's no substance or nothing's in there. No, you could tell it was a real one, but gutted out, right? Anyways, so I said, okay, here. And that was wrong of me to do that, right? Because later on that afternoon, he brought it out like this in class, and the class had to evacuate. The class and the school were evacuating into the field and stuff. And I'm like, That was dumb of me. But you know what? I looked at it. I told my supervisor it was not active. It was not a real one. It was a real one, but it was not nothing in there and this and that. But I should have just kept it. I should have just kept it.
Yeah, I bet that was a little scary moment right there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
before I cut out, sorry about that, guys. Phones at the library. So what bothered me, and I know this is just one opinion. I love the Lord, but I do have I'm still growing and loving my brothers who are in authority, who are in law enforcement. Being a person in authority myself, I take my journey with the Lord seriously, and I take with my personal heart and my thoughts and what I do seriously before God. I don't want God to smash me as a bug. I don't think He'll do that, but when people judge me, I'm like, I'm more scared of the Lord than I am of your judgment. But with that said, my initial feelings was um all the just how bothered the police department is when this happens to an officer. And I constantly think about all the people who I believe didn't deserve to get shot to death. That there's not this empathy from the police department. It's like they did what they had to do, and if it was a mistake, it still was necessary. And I'm just like, if they just had that much empathy for any of these guys, criminals, people like me who've committed crimes that they kill because they committed a crime, if they had just a smidge of empathy for these guys they take down in the name of the law and safety, I probably would feel a little more sad for these brothers that get shot and killed as policemen. But because they don't show any empathy, it's very clear it's us against them. Now, I'm not committing crimes anymore, but I was a couple trigger happy police away from being murdered for being a pot dealer, and I'm not sure if that's deserving of a death warrant. I'm not saying this policeman deserved death warrant that he got. He got someone killed crazy that killed him. You know what I mean? But it bothered me how much they're calling this guy a coward. They don't know this guy from diddly. They don't know he's crazy. They're calling him a coward. They're calling him all this stuff, talking smack. And I'm like, this guy's probably going to spend the rest of his life in jail, if not on death row. The guy was crazy, man. He made a mistake. You know what I mean? And so I was just having a hard time feeling the empathy that the policemen were throwing out there. And also $250,000 to find the guy. It's like, there's so many unsolved murders out there, but there's no $250,000 out there looking for these people. So anyway, that was my initial, but my thoughts to the family: murder is wrong, heinous crime is wrong. Man, I feel bad for anyone, but it did bother me a little bit how much it was like this policeman is so much more important than the people that got killed on the street for being crackheads or whatever. So that's what bothered me about the scenario more than normal. And I asked the Lord to search my heart and make it soft, but to everyone, not just one particular group. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah.
Well, I would have. You want to go first, House?
No, go ahead, man. I'll wait.
I would have probably. I that did go through my mind, Pastor Tony. Like, man, they're just giving so much money and this and that. And after they caught the guy, I was like, man, mental health, huh? I said, that's something that they should put that money towards, or make money for these people. This is mental health we're talking about, right? He ended up being schizophrenic or whatever. He heard voices and whatnot. His sister said, so I'm not making that up. You know what I mean? We got so many people like that out here, and I'm sure where you guys live too.
We do.
If my cousin wasn't a police officer, two of my cousins, I probably would think different. But I wouldn't want my family that are police officers in Los Angeles County to get murdered at all. Like,
right.
I pray for their safety, and this was just to me, it was something random. Like Jen said, he could have shot any one of those officers.
This was Andrew. Yeah.
And
I think
of a vet. His grandfather was a cop. His dad was a cop, and he was a cop.
Mhm.
Good night, Joker. I've dealt with police officers, right? On a professional level. Like when I was a school bus driver, I used to have to deal with the CHP officers, right?
Mhm.
Uh, and they would look at me because this is me, okay? You see the way I dress. In my outfit, I'm not my outfit, but my uniform, I had the baggy but creased down military looking good, that's
Mhm.
just me. But the and they see my tattoos and everything. So one time, CHP officer goes to me, "Were you locked up? What prison were you in?" He
Mhm.
says, "If I was in prison, I wouldn't have this job because
Right.
they can give this job to somebody that's been in prison."
That's correct.
And I
Right.
said, and then but I could communicate to him, look him straight in the eye. You know,
Mhm.
one came after me because some situation happened, and I mentioned to you guys before, but I battled it. I went to his watch commander, spoke to
Mhm.
him. I won. I actually won.
Wow.
But if you really look at police officers, they hire people from the military. They're trained to to kill. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And when they come out in here and to serve the community, if they served in a war or whatever, they suffer from PTSD. It's
Mhm.
gonna. You may pass the test and you may think normal because they're trained that way, but they'll snap sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
in cases like that, uh, there's a lot of them because every time I hear something, this guy was in the military. He was in the military. You know what I'm saying? But I remember this one guy, Joe. I respected him. He was a Hispanic guy, a Mexican. And he goes, you know what? I used to go because I talked to him. He goes, I used to patrol the neighborhoods, but I would communicate with the people in the
Mhm.
neighborhood because you're supposed to protect and serve. So if you get to know the neighborhood and you chop it up with me, hey, how you going? What's up? I
Mhm.
think things may ease up a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And because even to this day, like when I would say maybe a couple years ago, I was walking across the street telling my neighbor, call me. I said, peace, call me. So the police officers pulled me over and they says, hey, what's up? He came out, his adrenaline was pumping. I saw his jugular vein going out like this. I was ready to, okay, he was a short one. Then the tall guy came out. And I
Mhm.
said, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, I seen you throwing those gang signs. It's gang signs. I says, I told my neighbor, peace. And at this time I was a business owner. Okay.
Yeah.
I said, peace, call me later. And he goes, well, look at the way you're dressed. And I says, well, now you're saying, okay, you're stereotyping me as a Mexican and blah, blah, blah. I said,
Mhm.
I could come back at you and say, look at your high waters. You're a gabacho and this and that, but I'm not. I
Mhm.
said, so the owner of the store, he knew me. So he comes out and says, hey, why you mess with this guy? He was a Korean dude. Why you mess with this guy? He's a business owner.
Mhm.
And they ended up leaving. But they were deep, they were heavy on gonna tackle me,
Mhm.
Right.
But
Wow.
uh,
Sorry that happened, House. That's not
Mhm.
uncommon, though, brother. Sorry about that.
but you know what? I look at it like, uh, do your job. If you get paid to do your job, do your job. But there's got to be some kind of monitoring these people. Sometimes because I seen some harsh stuff that was really bad. That it was unnecessary. You know, unnecessary.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like that's such a, I can understand where that, you know,
Fighting money.
your feelings behind that, Pastor Tony, there's a lot of emotion there
Yeah.
due to the
Sorry.
experiences that you had yourself,
Yeah.
and the only thing I can say from my situation is it's like being in a family where like let's say one family member's in prison, my brother. One family member was working in law enforcement, my father.
Mhm.
I love them pretty much equally. And, I would hope that they had equal support. I do see a lot of sort of police type funds that are very high. Let's see, very high numbers of like support, funding. and not so much funding for the mentally ill or incarcerated. That's true.
Yeah.
We hope that people who have loved ones that are suffering from mental illness or are incarcerated, maybe we can start putting in the work and putting some more backing behind that, and lead by example. But yeah, it would be hard if you've had experiences like that, and then thank God that you come full circle and you said to yourself, like, then I thought about it, and murder is wrong, and God bless the family, and prayers to them too. It's like that's a difficult position to be in. I'm sure it is.
It is.
Thank you for
It is.
sharing.
Back in Christian college, I went to a Christian college here in Phoenix, Arizona Christian University. About 22 years ago, we had a professor, student teacher. So the professors sometimes invite people to teach in our class for a class. So this policeman comes in and he goes in front of the class in full uniform, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here to teach on the book of Hebrews, for a day." And then he says the next thing is, "You guys hear about that guy that got shot down yesterday by us?" He says, "Here's a lesson to learn before I start. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight." This is what this policeman, his brother in the Lord, my brother in the Lord, tells the whole class. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. And that was all he had to say about that scenario. And it didn't ring right to me. Like, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. And like, that's a macho thing to say, but that's the amount of empathy he had for this person they murdered. It was just as simple as another day at work. But an innocent policeman gets murdered, and it's a horrific, it's a travesty. The whole world should mourn for a day. I'm like, and that's the imbalance I'm talking about. I get it. Drug addicts are under pressure too, man. People trying to pay their rent every month are under pressure. Being in the joint for some silly stuff, there's a lot of pressure being in the joint. I mean, everyone has pressure, and CPS people have pressure. I mean, the person at Jack in the Box, it has pressure. No one should be in that much pressure where they're like, they have to pull their gun out as soon as any kind of fear happens. But yeah, so I feel bad for the policeman, but it was the spirit that was kind of like, it just made it like Jesus Christ just got crucified over here. And no, Jesus Christ didn't get crucified over here. A man lost his life, and someone that had mental illness took him out. And it's sad, but it should always be sad, not a special sad. Always across the board be sad. Now, given you got some type of child killer, okay, good, get them off the street. But most people that get shot on the street ain't child killers. They just don't want to lose their freedom, and they did something that. But okay, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm getting too personal here, but I love you guys. Go ahead.
We love you. We love you. Yeah. And I think it's the same kind of thing. Where you're going with this is like a couple weeks back. Remember when we prayed for the Jossel family? Their son is in the high desert. The same thing. Unfortunately, I had some comments where some people were like, "Well, he shouldn't have went to prison then." Just very cold. Yeah. So I definitely get what you're saying. People sometimes pick and choose where their sympathy goes. Yeah.
And you know what, Pastor Tony, we have to be the examples as Christians to show our light within us, right? So I know that you're having a hard time with this, and I understand it, but I will be praying for you. And it's just that we have so many people out there that do different things and have different intentions, and their motivations, and their self-being is just messed up, right? We see those people. We know that there's homeless. We know that there's mental illness. We know that there's people out there that just
a lot of suffering. Yeah.
That are suffering. Yeah. And I think it's easier today to pull out a weapon for some to think that they're going to get away with it. They don't. Yeah. They really don't get away with this stuff. I mean, you're going to get caught sooner or later.
In the finale, we're all going to be held accountable for our actions.
Yeah. And if not that, that we are going to, and I'm sure we all have consciences. We all have that conscience in our head that that's going to tell us, and make us feel what we did was bad. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
you just better hope and pray that, you know, you just, I don't even know, just, they're going to get caught. Sooner or later, they're going to get caught. And it's a sad thing that kids these days have to pull out that and
Yeah. I
reserve.
think something that we could take from it going forward, like a good lesson, like, you know, you was saying that the guy that came in the classroom or whatever and was teaching something, and before he went into the scripture, he made such a foul comment, you know, of that's something as Christians we have to hold ourselves more accountable. People like that, you know, should really think long and hard about what they say, because that made a huge impact on your memory and probably a lot of other people who were sitting in that classroom, and that's really unfortunate, you know.
Yeah.
And it's
You
okay
could have
to
said
have
pray for the family. You could have said pray for the families. You could have said a lot of different things, but it was just as cold as that, you know.
Yeah, I get
We
it.
all have feelings like that, and you could be a pastor and have feelings like that, and it's okay, because we as your friends could pray that, you know, this helps you understand. And
Mhm.
we don't even understand, but I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Like,
And when it comes down to it, it's a spiritual warfare, you know.
Yes.
I mean,
And that's
that
what
man
it-
went to work just like my cousins do to protect us. And yeah, there's bad apples out there. You know, I trust me, there's some bad cops out there, and
Mhm.
it's sad that
it's on both sides. It's on both sides, because you know I've been bad and you've been bad. It's on both sides, you know. And but like they train them because of how sometimes we respond, also, you know, how we are, what the things we do.
And you know what? Something that happened to my daughter last night. She got pulled over by a cop. It was like 11:30. She was coming home from work. She had her uniform on, and she was coming home, and the cop, you know, pulls her over, and she's like, "What'd you pull me over for?" And he goes, "Two things." And he goes, "For one, that exhaust you have is not legal." And she goes, "What do you mean?" She drives a Subaru, right?
Mhm.
And she goes, "What do you mean that's not legal?" She goes, it reaches the decimal, whatever, and she's telling him, right? And he's getting pissed. She goes, "Mom, he got so mad because I was telling him what I know."
Yeah.
You know, she goes, "I know that I wouldn't put something on my car that is going to be loud and hit that decimal mark, right? That
Mhm.
it's too loud for the
Yeah.
whatever
Or whatever. Yeah.
that city accordance or whatever."
Mhm.
So she was just like, okay. So he walks back to his car, and he comes back and he hands her a ticket. And then she like gets home and she looks at the ticket. It says, she goes, "I was going, it's a 40-mile zone right here."
Mhm.
She goes, "Mom, I was going like 48. Okay. Well, he got her and he put 68 miles per hour there on her ticket.
Wow.
She was like, "I couldn't even be going from me taking off from the light to this spot." Like, she went and she did the whole nine. She went and bought one of those those readers that read your exhaust and all that. And but he was mad. She goes, "Mom, he was mad because I was telling him what I know, you know, about my exhaust." She goes, and he comes back with a ticket, and I look at the ticket, and it's 68 miles per hour, like way over. She goes, "I would have been reckless driving then." I go, "You're right. They would have caught that as reckless driving." She goes, "He handed it to me and left." He didn't want
Strange days. I don't know what Artie said, but maybe
he didn't want to hear
it's
nothing.
about football. It's all about the Steelers, black and yellow, black and yellow.
That's funny. Yeah.
Oh yeah, now she has to go to court.
I don't know if you guys heard in the news, but a pedestrian got killed by a police chase when they were in pursuit, and they were walking, and they're going so fast that they hit that person and killed him. Did you hear about that? Yeah.
It happens though, yeah.
And that happened recently, but I literally seen this, something almost like this could have happened in front of a school zone when I was dropping off my daughter at school. Not my daughter, my granddaughter. But anyways, the cops were going like hitting It's a 90. They were going like at least 70 miles an hour, and people were crossing the street. And if this one girl would have took one more step, she would have been part of that hood of part of the. She would have been gone, you know. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with these cats here? You know, can't they see that school zone? Kids, come on.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're not supposed to proceed. They're not supposed to pursue a car anymore. That's, if the helicopter's up there and he has them, I mean, the guy's not
The
gonna
thing is there was no car. They were in pursuit, but they were on their way somewhere, and that's even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
You know?
Crested, I'm gonna read your question out right now,
Hey,
Crested.
D.
Yeah.
Saludos, Crust.
Okay. Let's see. I don't know if you see that house seller definition. Let me see.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Southeast LA, South Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Southeast Los Angeles is what it is. Artie Marin.
Okay. So let me read this, and then I'm gonna play the man himself. I got your voice right here, Crested, with the breakdown of what your question was. Okay, guys. So a 47-year-old man from the United States caused a heated debate on social media with a Reddit post. He described an incident where he left his 43-year-old wife, Meg, at the airport and took a flight without her. So hold on just a minute, and I'm going to play our brother Crested's breakdown of what happened and the question. Hopefully it comes out clear on the microphone. Let's see.
For you, okay? Okay, I saw this on the news down here, local LA news. Okay, I don't know if you guys saw it where you're at over there in Salinas. This couple was traveling, right? They were gonna take a airplane flight, and the wife she wanted to get her coffee, so the plane couldn't wait, so her husband took off on a plane without her, and she had to catch a later flight. Now, what would you do? Is the thing the topic that I'm presenting to you for the roundtable? What would everybody do? I could already hear Cholo Trucker too, because the way I see it, for me, I would have took off too, because one thing would be to go with the luggage, because if you go take a later flight, you're gonna have a harder time trying to find that luggage. But then again, that's your wife.
Okay. Did you guys get the breakdown of what happened? The question here that he's posing to us.
Sorry.
The wife had to have her Starbucks, apparently. And, the husband was, to me, and my take anyways, is he's probably thinking rational, like, if we separate from our luggage, this could go really bad. I'm going to go ahead and go with the luggage, and I'll see you there. But I don't know how this question's going to go for everyone else. Denise, how do you feel about that?
Give me 1 second. I gotta go get something real quick. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
There's two ways you can look at this too.
Okay.
Say I was the one that left my husband because he wanted to get Starbucks, right? He don't have a cell phone, so I couldn't call him and say, "Hey, I'm taking this flight. I'll meet you there." Blah blah blah. He don't have a cell phone, so that would go all bad.
Mm-hmm.
That would go all bad because I wouldn't be able to see him. I wouldn't know what flight he's on. I don't know where he is, what he took, blah blah blah. So I think I would wait and just figure out where the luggage is when I get there.
Okay. All right, Pastor Tony, what about you?
I'm just lost, man. There's too much information. I got lost at Starbucks, man. I'm like, what? I'm just happy to hear Crest talking.
I know, right?
He's a very entertaining man. He got a big heart. So
yeah, and that's
so
a good.
I'm going to remove myself from the Starbucks comment. That's just too much of a heavy scenario. I'm not going to incriminate myself. I'll pass.
Okay. Smart man. Okay. House, is that why you dipped out? Are you trying not to answer?
Oh no. I'm expecting a delivery right now, and I thought they deliver it because I don't want. There was a guy that I heard something take off right now. So I hope this guy that riding around don't get my package and just bone out.
Right.
But he says it's one stop away.
Okay. That's good.
Anyways, so what the man did is he ended up his flight was going right.
Yes.
The the luggage went already on the flight, correct?
Correct.
So then say that again. Run it by me again.
So the wife decides, the wife decides that I guess, at the last minute, hey, I need my Starbucks. Like,
Okay.
I'm going to get my coffee. Yeah. And her husband goes, well, I'm going with the luggage. I'm not separating from the luggage. And you can catch up with me there. But he's catching a lot of flack, for leaving his wife behind and going ahead with the luggage.
I would say I would blame it on the wife. Only reason why is because to get a cup of Starbucks. I mean, come on,
you should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah, correct. I would blame it on the wife and me, and that's not being cold hearted or nothing. It's just you guys have plans. You're going, and you should have done that a long time, like Denise said. Get your Starbucks ahead of time. Don't do it at the last minute, because then what's going to happen? Delay, or when are you going to get another flight, or this and that? That's so. By him taking off, oh man, that can. How's their relationship going?
That's right.
How's their relationship going? Are they really to where it's going to bother them, or they're okay with that? Catch another flight, because there's some people that really don't care like that,
Yeah.
But I would say that lady shouldn't have done that. The wife, the spouse. Yeah.
I agree. That was definitely. I mean, sorry, lady, but in my opinion, that was a no-go, lady. I mean, it ain't no Starbucks out there good enough to your stomach hurt after that, anyways. No way. No, thank you.
I think if I would be getting on a plane for a flight, I wouldn't be a Starbucks coffee. It would be a downer or something like that.
Right?
A Valium or something.
Yeah.
Put me to sleep, huh?
Right? Poor guy, he probably caught so much flack because people probably saw like the clip of left his wife. You know what I mean? To go with the luggage. Rather than reading it, she wanted a coffee and was willing to miss the flight.
Just think how many stories have you heard? How many stories have you heard of luggage getting lost, and how long does it take to find it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody may say, "Oh, they didn't pick up their luggage. I'm taking it home." There was actually some people caught and put in jail for that. They got arrested for it because when the things are going through the screening and stuff, they will be sticking their hands in there, taking out money and other things. You see,
So here's another wife right here, Mrs. Chicano to herself. My husband would never leave me, but I would never go get a cup of coffee right before a flight taking off. Rational thinking, yes, goes a long ways. See?
Yep, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. See,
hello, Bella. Hello.
We gotta be, think logically here.
Yeah.
An old girl was not doing that, clearly. But yeah, see.
Okay, so Tony, if the Metallica concert was coming on and you know that you had to go get on a taxi cab right now, and she goes, and you were going to be late to their first performance, and it'll take time to find another taxi cab, and you had your wife with you, and she goes, I got to get some Starbucks. What would you have done?
Oh yeah, you don't want to answer.
That Starbucks.
Don't get me started, man. I'd be like, are you trying? Are you going to the concert out of codependency? And you don't have to go if you don't want to. That's what I'm in my mind.
I tell my daughter, order your Starbucks. I don't drink coffee. I tell her, order your Starbucks before we head out to go get it.
Yeah, man.
Line is so long. Didn't matter if we got it before, or after. If we're in the drive-through, so I should tell her just get off and go grab your coffee, right?
Right.
My thing is, we're trying to say no sugar, no water, and no food in our stomach on any airplane trip, because I don't want to be stuck in this little 2 foot by 2 foot bathrooms. So I'm like, I'm thinking like, we ain't drinking any coffee. We ain't moving until this airplane hits the ground. That's what I would have did.
Right. Okay. That sounds understandable. All right, Kristen. After oil change. What
What do you say?
Salud.
Sorry.
He's doing
Yeah.
an oil change right now. Okay. That I get. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's the next subject. This viewer chooses to stay anonymous. But here's basically the question / situation. Say there's a couple that's having issues, and the issues are serious enough that the D word is being thrown around, and one of the spouses chose to confide in their family member.
Mhm.
Now, it has went from that one family member that he chose to confide in, and there's like a group chat now, and it just blew up in their face. And the question is, when is it ever safe to really tell your family what's going on in your own personal marriage or relationship within your own home? Or should you just keep it, you know what I mean, within your own household? Because in this particular situation, it just made their possible divorce even more of a reality, because the family got way too involved and invested in their business.
Want me to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. My package.
So I learned quick, and it was kind of harsh, but I learned very quick. This for just anything, confiding in any family member. I would confide in my mom about my marriage, and my mom hated my husband. She
Really?
didn't like him for all the things I would tell her about what happened and this and that and what. But at the time, I didn't realize I was feeding her that. I thought I was confiding in her, but I was really like getting her more and more angry with him, right?
Yeah.
So finally, I tell her, why? How come you don't like him? How come you don't like my husband? And she would be like, because the way he tells you and what he did and what he treated you and this and that. And I was like, oh my God. I go, I didn't tell you this stuff to hate him. I told you this stuff that, you were just the one that I could talk to and confide in. And after that, I told her, don't hate him because of what I told you. He's a good person. He's a good man. My grandma loved him, both of my grandmas. And my mom was just, offish, like she'd be just standoffish to him. But, I had to tell her, like, don't take what I tell you into hating him. So she did. She ended up, she loves him to death. And I just learned that. I learned that, if you do confide in family members, it's gonna go around. Because it did. And you're better off just, I'm better off just praying to God and telling him, hey, take care of this and take care of that. I don't confide in anybody. I really don't.
Yeah, smart.
I think that's a very smart thing. Yeah, I've experienced.
I mean, I talk to you, Jen, but
Yeah, but I ain't telling no
I
one.
tell everybody.
Hey,
Yeah.
let me tell you what Jen said. Just joking. Hey, you know what they say in that fact of the snowball. I mean, you tell somebody one story, and then by the
Or the
time it gets around to the other
telephone.
person,
Yeah.
it's completely changed.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Jen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've experienced the same, and I think it is definitely, although this was the other way around. This was, since we're keeping it anonymous, I can say this. This was the man that went to his family and was telling them everything. So then they sort of have now attacked the female. But I think as a female, not even I think, I know, because I've made the mistake of even maybe saying something that I thought was minor, but to people that love me, even what I think is minor, and they will take as highly offensive, like, hey, he said that to you? then you know what I mean? And then we got a problem. And I thought, oh no, I should have never. I mean, I could have said, hey, he told me put too much cream in his coffee.
Mhm.
Dad would have been pissed, You what?
Yeah.
You make good coffee. What is he talking about? So we got to be careful,
You know, Jen, once I seen this person, uh, they were getting a divorce, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that person was a good person with their family and everything, had no problems with their family and stuff.
Yeah.
And so the words were spoken to somebody. Somebody said it to the other person. And then when it went from there, that one person that used to get along with the other person's family members,
Yeah.
they blackballed him and just hated that person like big time,
Yeah.
because what was next is when they had to go to court.
Mm.
And when they had to go to court, it was crazy. It was
Yeah.
crazy, man. It was crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
That's interesting. My wife occasionally will tell me sometimes I like the way, sometimes I wish you treated the stranger. I wish you sometimes treated the stranger like you. Sometimes I wish you treated me like the stranger. Sometimes she'll pull that card on me and kind of get me right between the eyes because
Hmm.
I am so gracious with the stranger, right? And but at home sometimes in the past, we're doing pretty good, but in the
Mhm.
past, sometimes I'll call her out on the smallest things, So that's just something we always got to constantly learn about ourselves. And like Brother House said, sometimes the other way around, we treat our minds and me, myself, and I, with love and respect, and everyone else we treat like crap. So there's definitely both sides. I think God said it best, man. He said, "Love Him and love your neighbor," and the neighbor consists of everyone around you. So, yeah, always.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like in that case, it was blood was thicker than water.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy.
Mhm.
Hey,
Sometimes you can
round
find.
table, round table family. I got
Hello, hello,
This is my karate daughter,
Hey.
hello,
Layla.
hello.
Mhm.
This is
Hi.
my youngest daughter,
All right,
Evangeline,
girl.
Hi.
and here's my second daughter here, Zephyrina. We are now
Hello,
leaving
hello.
karate.
All
Thank you for
right.
inviting me on the show. You guys know
Thank
what it is. I got to get
you.
out of here.
All
Nice.
right,
Yeah,
Tony.
Good
I
night.
Take
love
care.
all y'all. Y'all keep on doing it and doing
Same
what's
here.
right, man. God bless. Bye bye.
God
God
bless,
bless.
brother. Yeah. Divorce isn't a good thing. I've been through it 2 times. Well, once and the other one coming up. All right. But it can divorces can get ugly, and people can change because family members can change.
Yeah,
And it's a trip how
it
things
is.
go. But there's two sides to every story. But uh, it's a trip how divorce can. I know it can't happen, but I wish blessings that people. I like to see those long marriages that people
Mhm.
stay in a relationship for years and years and grow old together. But
Yeah.
those times are going. To be truthful to you,
I mean, honestly, I've been
yeah,
married 34 years, and honestly, God has been within our marriage. That
that's
wasn't
good.
happening the first, you know, 20 years of it wasn't. And when we learned like, just going along and learning that, yeah, you can't let other people affect your marriage. Like you got to learn how to deal with gossip and people talking and whatever. We just like brushed it off and learned from it, and just we keep loving each other, and that's just the thing. It's like, you know I saw a lot in my family where this person would talk about that person and say what this person said, and then they're not talking. Sorry, guys.
Mhm.
Give me a minute.
Okay. That dog sounded mad. If you're trying to break into his niece's house, you might want to rethink that. Dog sounded mean. Yeah, we got to be careful too, talking about families,
Sorry,
because
did you hear me yell?
no, I didn't hear you. I heard your dog though. I was like,
Yeah,
damn, don't break into Denise's house.
So as you go, as you go along in your marriage, like we learned to a lot of things. Like we're not gonna, yeah, that person is turning that person against me, and then you know what happened with me? I would back up. That person would tell me their story, and I would be like, okay, well, then I would tell that person they're talking about. I would say something to them. Like, for instance, my niece would tell me something about her husband, and then I would be like, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, da, 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 da. Not really getting involved in their marriage, but I would say something. And that's not going to help keep them, like, that's going to keep them together. They're going to still stay together. But you know what? The husband's going to stop talking to me.
Yeah, it'll come back on the person that's saying the stuff.
And that happened a lot. So I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna say nothing anymore. Like, whoever says something to me, deal with that. Like, I'm not gonna get involved. I'm not saying nothing. And my family trip out because I used to be all up in there. Like, I didn't want to see anybody hurt, but I didn't care because the way that person was treating my family. So I'd be like, screw you, So anyways, we learned a lot. We went through a lot. Most families get caught up in that kind of stuff. But we learned, and we're just not going to let that happen. Like, I would never go to one daughter and tell her about my other daughter. Like, I don't roll that way. I just sit back and I pray for them. I won't say anything. I don't want to turn them against each other.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. People just turn against each other, blah, blah, blah. But me and my husband have been pretty good.
There's this one praise report that I can give you guys and it's a couple that I knew for years, right? And they lived in this neighborhood, and one guy, the male of the relationship cheated on her, right? And he was going out with this one girl she was going around the whole neighborhood. And at that time he was going out with her. She was going out with some other guy that I knew at the same time. So I was at my house and I seen them in the front arguing and yelling back and forth. And I knew them. So I did approach them. And this is a good praise report. And what I did is I approached them and I started talking to them. And then I started giving them examples of what happened to me in my relationship and all this other stuff, and tell them to start going to church and put God in your life, put God first and blah, blah, blah. You know what? They gave it a chance. And to this day, they're both going to church now. They're both prosperous now. All their kids are grown up, completed high school, graduated, and they're blessed. So sometimes maybe I shouldn't have said nothing, but you know what? I cared about those people, man, because it was something that I didn't want. When I see the kids, because I've been through that, the division, how much it hurts the kids, like my kids, right? It hurted my kids, because I had custody of all my kids. Their mother didn't. So what happens? It's hurting them because they can't be with their mom and this and that, or blah blah blah. But as time went by, I says I'm gonna solve it in a way that figure out a way so that the kids could be happy, and when they're at their mom's house all the time, they're together. When they're at my house all the time, they're together. You know what I'm saying? But after that, it still continued to go to court for years. But it happens, But so I was talking to them, and man, it was a good praise report, because to see them now these days, I still see them in the street, man, and they're going to church and putting God first, man.
Yeah,
putting God first.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what's up. Yeah, praise God.
And my husband didn't go to church with me at the beginning. He didn't, but I would pray and pray and pray and pray. And people at church would think I was single. No, I'm married. I was married, and I'm married, and I always say that. I'm not. I'm married, and that's it. And I prayed and prayed for him. I had the church pray for him, and he would come. Sometimes on Sunday, he would come, and everybody would welcome him and be like, "Wow, Mel, this and that." And he's a very cool guy. Then eventually started going with me steadily. We started going to church steadily. Just going all the time. I was in every ministry you guys could think of. My last ministry was jail ministries, and that was fun. I had the opportunity to go into the county right here and
That's
do Bible
cool.
studies and stuff. Yeah, I had a pass, and I had it. I love that. So I say 5 years ago, I started taking care of his grandma, maybe 6. And I keep telling people, I told my pastors, hey, God has me on a different, like I'm at a season where I'm watching his grandma, and this is all I do. So, I still love God. I still have a relationship with him. We still pray. We do, read our word, but I just don't go to church. Like I need that fellowship, and we need that fellowship, you guys. But
Yeah, I know I do.
Yeah, it's church is good. I make sure I go to church every Sunday, but unless I really can't, for some reason I don't feel good or something, but
Mhm.
I make it a point to go to church because we have to. But it's not that even church is within here. Jesus is within you. So this is where church is at. But when you go to church and you fellowship with people and you get fed by other people, you meet
yeah, that's what
and you tend to have a family. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it's a good family. And I can actually say that I was the first one to go to this church where I'm at, right?
Mhm.
Now my sister, my older sister, my brother, my other brother, his grandkids, and them are attending this church now. And so it's a
Cool.
blessing.
Right
So,
on.
you drop one seed, plant one seed, and look what happens, man. Jojo LB,
yeah,
saludos,
it's
brother.
a good thing. I would tell people that first and foremost, like put God in your life and see what He does.
Que
Like
bom dia, you.
don't resort to like splitting up or
Hey,
divorce.
some you know why some people don't, because they feel like people ain't gonna like them, and they're gonna be squares or whatever because you love God. I learned that at one point in time I got even some people go, oh man, you going to church or this now. Look, yeah, I do go to church, and I'm not afraid to deny him. I don't deny him, because if you deny him, he will deny you. So so I don't have no problem with that. And I try to get that. Hey man, come on to church.
Mhm.
Because it's a blessing, man. It's a good thing, man. Because
Yeah,
if you want,
you
go ahead, man.
you
Go
have
ahead.
to you have to you have to pray and wait on the Lord until He answers you, and He will.
Yeah,
But resorting to and I'm not saying you, House, or anybody, like I'm just saying, like, before divorce, before separating, before not talking, before hating, before all that stuff, just pray and see what God wants for you. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. That's like my first marriage grounds for divorce because of cheating. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And the second one is in the process right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah.
process.
And everybody's different and stuff, but I just say, because I know, and I've
Saludos,
been
Floyd.
through some stuff where you would you wouldn't believe that.
But you know what? I like to see people spend their life together, doing good for God, and how would I say, and living a good life. But believe it, when you give yourself to God, you're going to have a lot of trials. You guys know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I have a pastor that I met at this church right here. He's 75 years old, right?
Mhm.
He's been through so much good redemption. He used to be a heroin user, all this other stuff. Now he's doing prison ministry. He's doing all this other stuff. He's 75. He goes to prisons and does God's work. He goes to what do you call those homes for elderly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
Listen.
goes and spends time and does Bible studies there with them. And at that age. But the key thing about his relationship, what I want to get to, is his relationship with his wife is a good one, and you could see the loving between both of them, because they're
Mhm.
both in church,
Mhm.
and they're both serving God and doing what God's telling them to do. And I have a lot of respect for that man. He's a
Mhm.
good man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is good to see. I always felt so grateful to have had my grandparents, my maternal grandparents, for that example. They were together for, I don't even know how long, like 50 something years before my grandfather passed. And always loving, kind, gentle. I never saw them cuss at each other, talk hateful. It was
Yeah.
always like, I mean, my grandpa would like still open her door, carry the groceries, go gas up the car, like,
Yeah.
and that was I always say it was a blessing to see, but it was also like, man, he sure set some guys up, because I'd be like, psh, my grandpa would have had that car filled up already, and you better step it up. Because
Hey, you know what?
Hey,
You
today
know,
I appreciate my husband even more. He hurt his back, right? So since he hurt his back, tomorrow's trash day, I had to get all the. First of all, I had to. He don't eat lunch, but he was home yesterday. I had to make his lunch and then dinner and then today I had to take out the trash, the big old trash can, and I'm like, oh my god, this big old heavy, and I'm taking it out, and I'm like, frustrated, and I was like, dude, I came in and I said, man, I commend you for all that crap you do, because taking out that trash was crazy. And then going to put gas in his car, I was like, oh, he drives an Interceptor. You know how big those cars are?
oh yeah, I know.
I'm driving a freaking Interceptor. And then yesterday I took it, Jen, to get my eyelashes. I took his car, right? So I'm driving this big old Interceptor. And then this morning when I went to the store, I look and his window's cracked. And I said, oh no. I go, I know I didn't do that. I did not hear something hit the window. So I came home.
I was just gonna say that, didn't he?
Is your window cracked? He goes, no. And I go, I said, oh shoot, it's cracked now. It's like a big old crack. So we go out there and look, and yeah, there's like a little pin mark that you see, like a rock hit it or something. But I didn't hear nothing. So I'm like, I'll just take the blame. Like nobody else drove it unless somebody hit it in the driveway with a rock. But
right.
We've caught kids across the street with the slingshots and stuff. We've caught them, aiming it our way. But I'm not going to sit there. I don't know. So I'm not going to blame them. And I'm just like not blaming myself because I don't.
It happens, right? It happens.
Yeah.
So I got
I was going to give you an example of what happened in my relationship. My ex was coming. It was nighttime, right? I had my 58 Apache parked in the front, and we had a big wide driveway. She came in, and I don't know how she did it, man, but I was in the garage and the door was closed, and all of a sudden I heard this boom, and then she pulls forward and parks it. I said, somebody hit something outside. So I came outside, and then I look, she's all like, my mirror, and she's all like, her car, my mirror, and this and that, and I'm like, your mirror? And I said, my car, my truck. But I said, you know what? Hey, that's all replaceable, man. It is. I said, I didn't shout at her or anything. I said, okay, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
We both walked in. I'm like, damn, I'm sorry. Like, he goes, well,
because if you go the route, it's a lot of wasted energy. It's not good for you,
And he's not one to argue though, but he was like probably saying in his head, it's all your fault.
Probably. This is a good question, you guys. I was thinking about a situation earlier, kind of like this. So Cholo Trucker says, if you guys were friends with a couple and you found out one was cheating, would you say anything? No?
I wouldn't. I'd stay out the business. I'd stay in my lane.
I could give a good example on this. A family member, right? I took this person out to see Mac 10 up close and live and personal, and because at first I was going to take my wife, and I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to take my wife, and then she goes, I don't want to go. I don't feel like going. I said, all right. She goes, take this dude, and I said, all right. So let's go. We went over there, and that night we were drinking and everything, right? And something happened, and I didn't say nothing. But you know what happened? That dude went and told my lady that I cheated on her that night.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
And guess what? Because I came back. I came home from work, and she was in the shower. I went in there, and then I went like this. It says, I'm home. She went, bam. She hit me. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute. I never raised my hands to any of my ladies because I find that sacred. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I took the thing and I said, what's cracking? Yeah. Well, this dude said this about me when he did it. And I'm like, because I even told him, what the hell? Excuse my language. I said, what are you doing, bro? I said, wait a minute. I said, nah. And I says, he's not a member of their family no more because they got a divorce,
Yeah.
but his thing was, I didn't say nothing, but he turned it around and said that I did that,
How
and
do you do that?
it's crazy, man, because that wasn't at all, man. That didn't happen at all. And I'm like, okay, so that just totally, from that day, it ruined my relationship with that family. Then it's their family started getting, after that happened, his family started breaking up because I wouldn't like to go down there because we're going to get into it. You know what I'm saying? I said, because what he did was not cool,
Yeah.
and so to make a long story short, man, that just screwed up a lot of stuff, man.
Oh, wow.
From there, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Jen? What would you do?
I was in a situation where I was kind of facing this. So, I mean, they're not together no more, whatever. This was a long time ago. I don't even know what happened to them, but I was a teenager, right? In my very first apartment on Perez Street, I had my son there with me. My neighbor, Sharice, she was from Fresno, her and her husband, and they had a little girl, beautiful little girl, and she ended up having another child, a baby. And I mean, when that baby was like 3 weeks old, one morning cops came, boom, 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 knocking down their door, and they arrested her. She had a newborn at home, and not somebody I would think like. She was like a manager at every job she worked at. Like, she did not look like, if looks are deceiving, right? She did not look like anything that anybody I would think would be arrested like that. And they picked her up and they took her, and she did some time um, for something,
Yeah.
away for a while. And I seen her husband one time. I never went inside because I always was like, I'm not ever going to go into a bar or a club. Like, my parents always had me like afraid to, like, that's a sin, don't do that. Like, I was always scared. So, but this one time, friends had me walk by. I think it was called Planet Gemini. Miss Chicano too. You probably remember this. I don't think you've been either, but remember that spot in Monterey? And it was like a club or a bar or something. They played music, dancing. I don't know exactly, but I saw my friend, my neighbor's old man in there with another female. Walked by the door, and they were standing in a way that was a little too friendly,
Yeah.
So as I was walking by, I was like, what? But like right when I saw him, he saw me,
Mm-hmm.
and we locked eyes. And you know what was crazy is he knew. He beelined right over to me. He was,
Yeah.
I already know you're going to tell Sharice. I know.
Mm-hmm.
So before you feel like you have to, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to tell her. I'm like, okay, it's on you. Like, I'm trusting that, I didn't see anything other than what I saw, and it didn't look appropriate.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that you do tell her and you don't put me in that position. And he actually did. He told her when she got out.
Told her?
Yeah, he told her, because when she got out, she came home. She goes, hey, I just want to let you know that he told me what happened. He told me you saw him, and he knew that if he didn't tell me, he figured you would. So he wrote me and told me right away.
But you would have told her?
God, I don't know. See, it's like,
I mean, if I was tied with that girl, if we're like this,
Yeah.
I would. I think I would.
Yeah.
Because I probably would not like him anyways, but
Yeah. And it
for the way
shocked me though.
Yeah.
It shocked me because he was like he seemed like he was a ride or die, like he was gonna thug it out with her till the end. And when it shocked me and like hurt my heart when I saw him, because the girl was someone she knew. Yes, you remember Miss Chicano? Yeah. But thankfully, by him telling her, it took it out of my having to make that decision. But it made me sick, you know, it made me sick to think that,
Yeah.
you know,
That's a tough one. But yeah, if I was
Yeah,
like close to that girl, like I would be like, man, that's my girl. Like, what are you doing?
and they
you
were
know,
like 10 years older than me too. So I looked up to them. So it was like
yeah,
really disappointing, you know?
yeah, that's crazy. You know what? Around in this neighborhood right here,
Mhm.
right? I got a neighbor down on this side, and I chop it up and talk to her. She's an elderly, older than me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 68 or whatever. You know, and she'll come by and sometimes she'll say hi. We used to talk about God, right? And then, so she'd always go down this way, walk her dog, and then she knew somebody down the street, the couple, right?
Mhm.
So I said, okay, she knows them, friends, and this and that, right? So when I see his lady going to work and he's not working because he's retired and he's a Air Force guy and he's there, right? And then all of a sudden I see that girl going into his house, the other lady over here, you know. So and this is the truth, okay? And
Mhm.
because this lady confessed it, and she don't live here no more, right? Anyways, she went down there one day and he started undressing her, okay? The man there, right? While his wife is at work, okay? So I said, you know what? I used to talk to the guy, right? He used to come back from down the street and I used to talk to him.
Yeah.
After that point, I don't talk to him because I don't like people doing that to their spouse like that, right? So I told the neighbor here, I'm cool with that. You know, I won't talk to him or anything. You know, I'm good with that. You know, and time went by, and I never said anything to any of them. But the good thing is that lady moved away. You know, but the sad thing is that that guy was playing his wife
Oh, Mr.
for
Connor.
for a minute, man. And I says, you know what? And when one time I seen her walking down this way with her blouse unopened and then this and that, and I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
God.
Yeah,
And
people
he
got
told
tough
me
nerve, huh?
That's
she's the
not
one that she's the
especially
one
where
that
in your home where you guys
yeah.
both live.
And
That's so
she confide that in me. And I never said nothing. Even to this day, when I see that lady, I never said nothing to her, man. That's it's not my business, you know. But
Are they
he's
still
doing fine.
married?
Huh?
Are they still married?
Yeah, they're still together.
Mm.
And the one lady that's with him is like uh 10, 15 years younger than he is. Yeah. But it's a trip, man. And you know, some people can be scandalous, man.
Right?
Scandalous, man.
Totally. Totally. Hey, there's Hugo right now. Hugo, earlier we had someone in here. I think I've seen a picture of you with him. Um, the with Mike Servant. Aren't you friends with him or you took a picture with him? I'm pretty sure. I've seen something like that. Let me know if I'm mistaken. But good evening, Jen, Victor's family. Good evening to you, Hugo.
Miss Chicana's all
Good
over.
Jiu-jitsu
That's right.
champion.
No sympathy for cheaters, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no sympathy for cheaters at all. That's just, yeah, I hate that people even put us in that position. Not that has nothing to do with me shouting you out right now. That
Yeah.
earlier we were talking about situations like that, and okay, so here we go. This is a separate thing. Hugo says
Yeah,
yes.
Mike Sturman. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see, guys, that I thought had remembered that. That's his friend. Yeah,
He's not his
Right.
good friend.
He
yeah.
was in a
Oh.
second chance video. I seen him they were filming a second chance video and he was in
That's
there.
so
He
cool.
came down all the way from up north. He was talking, I think Chicano, Rockin' Chicano, that dude. I don't know if you guys know Rockin' Chicano.
Yeah, I think I had seen that too. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what's up. That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was an interesting sort of roundtable, you guys. I
Yeah.
feel like we went around and back around the other way, but
Round
Yeah.
table.
round and round, yeah. Talked about some interesting topics, and I feel like we got some real life situations out there. I like that we got Crusted's, live audio.
Input. Yep, yep. We had some input.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to shoot a question or a topic suggestion, on Instagram for next week, feel free to do that. Like, and anything you guys want to hear us speak on, we're down to do that.
How do you like your room, Denise?
I know.
Yeah, I like it. I'm adding little things here and there. Let me see if you could see this. Watch. Let me show you around real quick.
Let's see. Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Jen? Last Friday, I was blessed. I had JoJo LB on my live, and then Denise's man on my live. I'm like, yeah, I was
Yeah,
blessed.
he loves it.
It's nice.
So I
Wow.
got that,
Okay.
and I have this.
Nice. Nice.
You see
Okay.
that?
Yeah.
That's my license plate that was on my caddy.
Oh.
And then I put that in here. So
Nice.
just adding like little things. You guys
Here
see
and
that?
there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just adding little things. I have this and I have to look it up. Watch. I have this. I have to look it up to see. Can
Oh,
you
it's
see
a
it?
card, collectible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a collectible card. Can you guys see it?
Nice. Yeah.
It's Tony Robo. I
Oh,
got
Tony
his name,
Romo.
Woody's word, and I have like a few jerseys. I have a few jerseys of his. I have
Hey, my son-in-law has Dallas Cowboy collectible cards, and he sells them. Yeah, I don't need them. I don't pick them, but he has a bunch of cards. You get everything from basketball to football. You know.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he wants to go get one of those jackets, so we gotta make a date so he could go try one on. And
Yeah, man. You got my number. You know, we could keep touch bases. You know what color he's looking for?
the color? No, I don't know. Probably
Yeah.
gray.
Yeah.
That'd be my.
There's also a guy that shot a message on IG that is like a Cowboys collector, like connoisseur, that watched last week and wants to show you some of their products, Denise. So
Okay.
I'm gonna shoot you the information. It's the actual business he has. So you might want to.
Hey, where's your cowboy hat, Denise?
Oh, you guys want to see my new one?
Oh no.
Hold on.
She got one.
Oh, look at Cholo's question right here. I think we're gonna save this one for next week, though. This is a good one. You see that?
Cholo says, "Is there such thing as a bro code anymore?"
I like this question, and I think I don't even want to answer. I want to save this for next week.
Good topic.
Yeah, good topic. Sorry, Cholo, but thanks for the question. But next week, this will give you guys.
You guys made me crazy.
I got some good stories.
Says I got bros in different area codes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's my new one.
Nice.
I got this one.
Nice.
This one.
I like that.
This one.
Check it out.
I got this one.
I like that one.
I got this one.
Yeah.
You guys, I have like 20 hats. Not lying. I got so many hats.
Hey, but where's your real cowboy hat? The one, the 5-gallon hat or whatever.
I'm the one that has those.
Oh, you have those?
I got
Yeah,
those.
because you used to ride a horse, right?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
I was I'm gonna bring my trophies down from the attic. I've got some ribbons and trophies. I'm not even.
All right. I used to love my in-laws back in the days for my first marriage. I used to love going to their. They used to bring. You know how the girls wear the chakra hats and they side saddle ride and do all those things. Yeah, beautiful horses and everything, man. And I used to love watching that, man.
It's fun. Well, yeah, it's like you gotta have a love for it. But yeah, the trick riding and all that. I
rode a horse a couple times. It's cool.
Yeah?
It's kind of cool. Yeah.
I rode a horse once.
I love horses. I still, like if I could have one still, but it's so expensive, you guys.
You hit them on the side. You go, Yep, I did that.
All that. Yep. Conejo, are you going to Vegas this weekend?
No, I'm not. No, I can't travel far, Bella. Otherwise I would. I'm working on that big time. Honestly, I'm working on that.
Traveling.
I'm working on that, man, because this ain't me right here. I mean, let's put it this way: things happen in people's life, changes sometimes, but you know what? I keep on pushing myself, and I'm still pushing myself. And I'm not gonna stop. Because I used to be like that. I bam, bam. And I did. I guess because I'm older, I experienced a lot of stuff like that. So,
You'll get there. I'm gonna do
My
this.
grandkids are like number one right now, man. And that's important to me.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
For sure. But here we go, Hugo. If you have to cheat, you don't deserve to call anyone your girlfriend/boyfriend. There you go. Most definitely. I agree with that. That's right. That's right. Okay, next week we got one topic, and we're gonna get some more. You guys shoot
Hey,
us.
the topic is bros in different area codes. Huh?
Right?
Hey, they got that song out, so if you want to play it, no,
Oh,
you get strike.
no. Is it
It's
okay
funny.
to date your homeboy
Sister?
sister?
Uh,
That was never allowed.
I'd ask my homeboy first.
I did that in high school.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that was a no-no.
I did that in high school.
My brother messed up so much game for me. I used to get people being like, "Oh, you're so-and-so sister, huh?" Yeah, tell your brother I said, "What's up?"
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
believe it or not, that girl in high school tatted my name on her ankle, man. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
How funny.
My brother's
That's
homeboys would not even consider dating us.
Yeah.
But
Right?
I don't know. I would think I would ask my homeboy if I could date
Oh
him.
no, Jesse, no. I'm not that. I don't like to be in the limelight like that, Jesse. You know, I like to do at the personal one-on-one or clients and this and that, or because I used to have shops and it was cool and all that, and I had a lot of clients, but I like the one-on-one private. You know, throw on the oldies, throw on the music, chop it up, and it's like when they come in there, they talk to you because they're going through problems, man. You wouldn't believe some stories that I heard that I'm like, whoa.
It's like therapy, right? It's kind
Yeah,
of
it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is because I had people who came from jail, military, lost loved ones, all kinds of stuff, and they want something to represent them, and then while you're doing it, they're telling you what's happening in their life, Yeah. So
Yeah.
I used to.
You out the other day, huh, Jen?
Huh?
What's that?
Our lash lady and our nail lady, like
Yeah, they get all of our they get all of our
they talk to us and it's like, okay,
yeah.
I don't know you. I'm not gonna see you. You don't know my life. You don't know. They don't know people that I'm talking about, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's right. Let's shout some people out before we wrap it up, guys. Yeah.
That's good questions, Cholo. Good question.
We got Hugo, Cultura Cafe, Cholo Trucker.
Bella.
Hugo.
Who else we got here?
Mrs. Chicano.
Miss Chicana.
Bella.
Jojo
Yep.
LB.
Strange Days, Miss Chicano too,
Joy Chavez.
Crusted Joint,
Crusted, yeah.
Big D's in the casa.
Victor Garcia.
Who we got? Yeah.
Stone Raider.
Stuck in the System was here. Yep.
Stuck in
Artie Marin, Andrew Martinez.
That's right. The City 18, shout out. You know what it is.
Hey, so Denise, will you let your husband come on again? We enjoyed having your husband on.
I have no control of what he wants to do.
Hey, we know you beat him up. We know you beat him up.
She said, I have no control.
No.
Hey, your husband seems real cool, man. Cool people, man.
Get another chance.
Yeah, he's very cool. People. I don't, like I said, I don't sit there and control what he was like, go on. I was like, no, I'm not dressed. Like, I'm not going to go on. He's like, oh, I'll go on. I said, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hey, Bella, I tattooed my sister. She got her first tattoo when she was 72, right? And Bella, she's 75, and she's got her half sleeve, and her legs done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made her like tattoo?
And it's all scripture, all Christian based stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna get one when I come down there. I'm going to.
What made her do
Hey, I'll take care of you, man. I got you, man.
No, I'm gonna hit you up when I come down.
No worries, man.
Yep. I try to catch the show after training. That's why I'm always late. But I love the show. Oh, Hugo, we love you. Better late than never, right? You can always catch the playback. That's what's up. That's right, Mr. Castillo's a cool out though.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
House met him. Cholo met him like 3 times. He's
right. You guys have met, huh, in person. That's
not the thing. We don't tell each other what to do. He don't.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jojo LB, me and him and Crust Brother, we're like the dying breed we were talking about because it's true, because there's the new people are coming out, but it's different. Back in the 80s, that style, the 70s and the 80s, it's changed up during the 90s, the clothes you wear. Now I see guys wearing like carpenter, what do they call those? There's shoes that are high, they're like boots.
Yeah.
And I think bikers wear them now.
Oh,
I don't know what they're called, but I see a lot of people wearing those now.
Mhm.
And
And you know what, House? Like, he's been working 27 years, probably more, at his job, right?
that's good.
And
That's good.
before he would just put on his clothes, come on, whatever, go to work. Now he sits here, he irons his uniform, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Why are you ironing your uniform? You're just going to work. And he's like, well, I don't like to look sloppy. I'm like,
Hey, that's how I was, man. I tell you, man, I was looking sharp in my uniform, man. It was all creased up and everything, man. But they used to tell me, they got on me one time, and they did. They said, hey, you can't be getting them so baggy now. But because I got a baggy butt, I creased them, gapped them in the front, creased them down, But so I said, damn. And then
that's funny.
they started changing the way you dress is basically you had to wear a tie. So and then they changed the colors, and I was like, damn. They were like a pink shirt. It was a pink shirt with stripes. I was like, damn.
Pink?
It was pinkish, yeah, burgundy pinstripe with pinkish, and I'm like, damn.
Messing it up for you. That's right. Well, next week, same place, same time, you guys. I appreciate you, Denise.
Yes, thank you, and everybody have a blessed week. Man.
Yeah, Pastor Tony for tapping in. All of you guys for being here. It would be nothing without you. Thank you guys for making it always a fun conversation, and you guys throwing the topics and your own experiences our way. It makes it.
Episode 25 coming next.
Hey, 25.
25, 25.
You never know what might happen.
That's right.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
Okay,
Have a good night.
Have a good night. See you next week. Okay.
Bye, sis.
Bye.
Bye, House.
Bye.